I hope this podcast can inspire you to always dream big and make it your reality. I am your host, Jess Williamson, a serial entrepreneur and business coach. And today I am here to chat to you all things money mindset. So I wanted to give you a few questions to think about before we get started. Do you feel like you never have enough money for the things that you want to do? Do you have goals and dreams that you feel like are being stopped or maybe postponed due to your money situation? Do you say no to opportunities due to not having enough money? And are you being limited by your money mindset? If you said yes to any of these questions or would just like to get a better perspective and mindset on your money, you're certainly not alone, and this podcast episode is for you. I recently shared this on my Instagram stories, so if you're not already, go connect with me over there. And if you missed it, I just wanted to share some of the feedback. The feedback on this was overwhelming, and my favorite DM was from Lauren, and she said, "So I used some of your money mindset tips and invested in branding, paid the bill, and the same amount of money got put back into my bank account. So crazy. Thank you." See what happens when you actually implement. I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but believe me, your mind is so powerful. So make sure you shut off all your distractions, grab a pen and paper ready, because I'm about to share with you how you can change your perspective on money and have a better money mindset. This will have a huge impact on your life and business ongoing. I get really excited about this because if you guys can overcome the fact that you do not have money for what it is that you want to do, you'll be unstoppable. If you can overcome just that, the world opens up. One of Tony Robbins' best quotes that everyone sort of always shares is, "It's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness." Now, what that means is it's not about your external situations, aka resources, it's about your resourcefulness. So it comes back to you. And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you in these tips, because you are in control of all the things that make up your reality. So I'm going to break this up into a few short steps for you guys to work through on not having the money. So let's get started. Tip number 1 out of 4. I've got 4 tips today, but tip number 1, ask yourself, do you actually need more money? I get it. Sometimes you wish you had more. I mean, we all do, but let's get really honest here, because a lot of the time I hear people say, "I don't have money." Usually that's not true. It is not true most of the time. Yes, I know that in some situations that might be true, but pretty much everyone that I've ever heard saying this has money, right? So it's not even true to say I don't have money. It all comes back to mindset and perspective. Maybe you're just feeling like you never have the money, so you want to hold on to all the money that you do have. Or maybe on the flip side, maybe you're always spending the money and you feel like you don't deserve it, or you don't want to have that money, so you're always spending it. And then therefore, when something does come up that you want to spend money on or invest in or do, then maybe you don't have enough. But whatever it is, get really honest with yourself. Stop saying I don't have money, because you probably do. If you're listening to this podcast, you've got an iPhone or some sort of device, right? So even if you've got 20 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent, whatever it is, it's money. Whatever the denomination is, it's money. It might not be as much as you'd want, but the truth is you do have money. So just making that simple shift to start with is going to make a huge difference. If you can stop saying, I don't have money, because you do. You just either don't want to spend it on those things, it's either not a priority, or maybe you just don't have enough. So just changing your wording around that is going to change your mindset significantly. So that is tip number 1. Stop saying, I don't have money. Tip number 2 is, do you actually need more money, or is it some other fear that is holding you back? So do you actually have more than enough money to take that leap, to invest in yourself, to invest in your business, to learn something new, or invest in a course? Or is it just a fear that's stopping you, such as a fear of failure, so that you're not going to invest in that, but you're using the excuse that you don't have money, right? But really, when you dig deeper, it's actually a fear of failure that you have. And so you're not willing to invest in yourself or take that leap because of your fear of failure. It's got nothing to do with the money. And now this is just an example. So I would love for you to dig deep and have a think about, is there actually a fear or an underlying limiting belief that might be stopping me? Or is it actually the money? Because I'm telling you, a lot of the time, it's probably the fear. It could even be a fear of success, right? There are so many limiting beliefs that could come up, and I've got a whole free resource for that. So if you do want to overcome some of these limiting beliefs, you can get my free limiting beliefs workbook via my website. I'll put it in the show notes, the link, so you can click on directly to it. Otherwise, head to my website, jessicawilliamson.com.au, and click on free resources and it'll be there. It is the limiting beliefs workbook, and it comes with a mini video to walk you through how to do that. But this is money mindset number 2. Do you actually need more money, or is it some other fear that is holding you back? Money mindset number 3, money mindset tip number 3 is knowing that money is actually pretty unlimited. Some people have billions and billions of dollars in the world, so why can't you? At the end of the day, they're just humans too. So the only difference is that they've said to themselves, hey, I can have this kind of wealth. If you don't actually believe that you are capable or deserving or worthy, or that it's even a possibility, then you probably won't get there. So just changing that money mindset around knowing money is really unlimited. Like, you don't just have to have your small portion. You can sort of work towards whatever goal you have. But the first step is realizing that that can be a possibility for you. If someone else, as a human being, has been able to achieve that, then why can't you? Another whole topic for another day is that really what you want? But just if it was, let's just say it is. You just need to realize that, hey, I can have this kind of wealth too. It is such a different mindset to those people that feel like they never have enough money versus billionaire mindset, right? So we need to start to get into the shoes of where we want to be. And I'm not saying by any means everyone has to be a billionaire. Definitely not. Everyone's idea of success is different. But just realizing that it could be possible makes a huge, huge difference. Yes, some billionaires might have started in a better position than you. Some might have grown up with wealth. But there are also plenty of self-made billionaires who started with nothing. There are so many stories out there of people who came from nothing and now are some of the most rich people in the world. And that comes down to the fact that they believed they could. So if you can change your self-talk from, I don't have money, to, how can I find the money? How can I make the money? How can I get that money? Then it trains your brain to say, how can I get the money? Your brain actually wants to answer these questions. So if you say, I don't have money, wow, your brain's got the answer already. Like, you literally, nothing's going to happen because it's content. It has the answer. You don't have money? No worries. Job done. Kick my feet up. Let's put on some Netflix. But if you can change your self-talk to, how can I make the money? How can I find the money? How can I get that money? Your brain will start scanning your environment and looking for the answer to that. And it's not magic. The example from Lauren that I shared with you at the start is that she said, yep, I'm going to do this. I'm committing. I'm going to spend this money. I'm going to pay for it. And subconsciously, she was probably thinking, okay, I've got to, get this money, make a new order, whatever it is, to replace that money, because she might have been afraid of spending that initially. And it came because of the actions she took subconsciously to get there. So a simple mindset shift into, how can I make this possible for myself in whatever you're trying to do? Your brain will consistently look for the answer to solve your problems. So if you can change your vocabulary around that, it will really help you to pursue the things that just tend to come to fruition. It's not magic, it's the power of the mind. So that's what I want you to take away. And if this can work for money, this is the same concept for your goals, for whatever it is that you're working towards. Well, just know that money is unlimited, and that how can you make that money, get that money, find that money. So changing that vocabulary to really an expansive mindset rather than a limited mindset. Tip number 4, the final tip for this podcast, but not my final tip forever, don't worry. But tip number 4 around money mindset is decide what you want first and the solution will come. The money will come. So often people look at things and think, okay, what are my resources and what can I do with that? How much money do I have in the bank currently and what can I find that will fit that? Instead of saying, what do I want and how do I make that happen? If we don't challenge ourselves, then how is it ever going to happen, right? So the first step is always going to be deciding what you want, and then you make a plan to get the money, make the money, find the money to make it happen. So if you want to invest in a coach or a program or something that is going to help you grow personally, grow your business, get to your goals sooner rather than later, but you're being restricted by the amount of money that you have, once you say yes to things, and there are so many stories and examples that I could share on times that I have said yes, and I did not have anywhere near enough money to make that thing happen. But guess what? It happened, right? Because I made it happen. Anything really is possible. Once you decide what it is that you want to do first, then make a plan. If you really want something bad enough, you'll work towards it. Stop letting yourself be restricted by your resources. Just one example on something that I invested in is I invested in a coach. I still invest in plenty of coaches because we never stop learning. But I invested in a coach once that was $50,000. $50,000 for the year. And I just knew that I had to do this. And so I signed up and I knew that I was going to make that happen. But guess what? I only had about $10,000 to my name in my business at that point. That's not $50,000. But I signed up because I knew that what I was going to gain from this program was going to be life-changing. And I knew that would be pretty priceless. And so, to be honest, I don't even really know how I paid for it, but I did. Because I decided that that's what I was going to do, my subconscious mind was working overtime to either find opportunities, seek out situations, pursue my business harder, make more sales, whatever it is. Once you decide yes, you can make it happen. Very early on, those that don't know my background, I have a swimwear brand, ET Swimwear, and in the very first week of launching that business, I got approached to showcase at New York Fashion Week. That is a freaking huge opportunity. But guess what? I was 1 week into my business. I had literally spent my life savings on my first collection, getting the brand launched, and I wasn't making many orders. I was probably doing 1 or 2 orders a week at that point. That's maybe $50 to $100 a week, So the costs involved in going to New York Fashion Week, travel, marketing, New York is not cheap to go to, and also the whole collection. I had to design, manufacture, and create a whole new collection for New York Fashion Week, and I'd barely sold any of my current stock. Guess what I said? Just have a guess. Of course, I said yes, because why would I give up that opportunity? And secondly, no, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the time either because I was working full time, but I made that happen too. But that's just another example, right? So if you want to do something, if there is something that you've been putting off because of the money situation, I want you to use these 4 tips. And I would love to hear from you in the DMs. Send me a message. My DMs are always open. But just start to think about the fact that, is there something that you have been putting off? Is there something that you know will significantly help you in your journey, in your growth, and for your future because of the money situation? If there has been, then make a decision today. Write it down, imprint it into your memory, whatever you need to do, but make a commitment to yourself and to other people if you need that kind of accountability. But make a commitment, make a decision based on what you know you need, what you know you want to do, rather than what your resources allow you to do. Because anything really is possible. You just have to first decide that it is, and then you'll make a plan to make it happen. So I'd love to hear from you what your money mindset challenges are at the moment, or what you're making a decision to commit to. So that is tip number 4. Let's just quickly recap. Tip number 1, do you actually need more money? Or stop saying, I don't have the money, right? Because the more that we say we don't have the money, our brain has no reason to seek out the money. It already has the answer. So stop saying I don't have the money. Tip number 2, is it the money? Or is it actually some other fear that's holding you back that maybe is a little uncomfortable and maybe you don't want to get into that? So the easy answer is to blame it on the money. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to have a good relationship with money, you've got to stop blaming the money. It's like if you have a husband or you have a kid or someone in your life that you were constantly blaming, they wouldn't be too happy with you, right? If you were like, oh, I didn't go to the gym today, I didn't do this or I didn't do that, that's all your fault. They wouldn't be too happy with you. So we want to improve our relationship with money. Tip number 3 is understanding that money is pretty unlimited. There's some pretty wealthy people out there. So if they can do it, why can't you? And it's just shifting that mindset. And instead of saying, I don't have money, start saying, how can I find the money, make the money, get the money? Whatever question you want to ask, make sure it's a question that you want answered, because your mind will continually seek the answer for you. And number 4 is decide what you want first, and then the solution will come. The money will come. Because I promise you, every single time you invest in yourself, it is the biggest return on investment that you ever get in your whole life. Any investment that you ever make in yourself is always going to give you the biggest return on investment. And guess what? No one else controls that but you. No one can ever take that away from you. No one can take that away. No one can take away your personal growth. No one can take away the learnings that you have now. So hold on to them. And I do hope that you found these 4 tips helpful around money mindset, because I just find that from all the women that I speak to in business, this was probably the number 1 excuse or reason why people decided that they can't do the things that they want to do in life or business. But I want you to take one thing away today and remember that it is all about resourcefulness, not your resources. To finish off, I have a quote that I think I might have made up myself. I could not find who said this quote, so maybe I made it up. But the quote is, if you decide that you can't afford it, you won't. You won't be able to afford it. It's as simple as that. But if you do believe you can afford it, you will. It's really that simple. And I know it's probably an oversimplification. And look, there is a lot of mindset work to be done behind the scenes, but these are things that I work on with my one-on-one coaching clients as well. But hopefully these 4 tips will just start changing your perspective and getting you to start thinking about things in a different way. But ask yourself, what are these limiting beliefs around money actually costing you? Because I'm going to bet on that it's a lot more expensive than taking that risk, than taking that leap, than investing in yourself. So have a bit of a think about that, because if these mindset beliefs are stopping you from chasing your dreams, then that sounds pretty damn expensive to me. So I hope that has inspired you. As I said, please do send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is at jess.williamson8 if this was helpful. Or if you're thinking, all right, Jess, sounds nice, but I'm still feeling a bit stuck, please send me a message as well. My DMs are always open because I would love to help you with this. And make sure you head over to my website as well and get your hands on my free Limiting Beliefs workbook at jessicawilliamson.com.au and then click on free resources. But I will put the link in the show notes so you can easily just click it there. But I hope this has helped. I hope you all have the most amazing day. As always, please make sure you subscribe and share this, because the more that we can get this word out there about this podcast, the more women we can help, and the more podcast episodes I can keep producing for you all. So I hope you have an amazing day, and I will speak to you all very, very soon.